XRP, we start with 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look for trade. First things, if we refer to our analysis, we have been looking at this one as a correction relative to this. That's why I mentioned if you want to put this one as a correction relative to this move, the best things is if the price give us a reversal without breaking the 59 cent. That's why I mentioned if the price broke the 59 cent, then mostly we can expect the price to retest the previous low. Okay. Anyway, as we can see, the price broke the 59 cent. When we want to see what's the next, whether still we can put that this one as a correction in relative to the previous move which I just highlighted or not. Okay, anyway, we don't need this one. And in this case, we look at the chart in the based on higher time frame. If we move to daily chart, as we can see, we mentioned we can put this one as a flat, and we can expect the price to retest the previous low, which is the previous low I'm referring to is somewhere around 51 cent or 50 cent, 51 or 50 cent. Okay. By the way, when we refer to the XRP, we don't need to wait for the price to retest the previous low. Any reversal, any trade setup for buy, it can give us better. I mean, technically it can give us a good opportunity. But since we know most of the charts they have a similar movement and mostly they following the Bitcoin, that means the possibility of the price to retest the previous low is very high. Okay, and if the price retests the previous low, which is somewhere between 50 and 51 cent, mostly we can expect to see the divergence based on the indicators. Any reversal from there, it can give us a really good trade setup. But the thing is, we want to see whether the price can break the 50 cent or not, because we mentioned if there is a breakout of the 50 cent as a strong move, the next level we can expect is a 40 cent. And even I mentioned we don't need to wait for the price to retest the previous low. If we want to look for buy, any trade setup for buy based on lower time frame is still we can look for. Okay, by the way, again I need to highlight that in the bigger picture we should know that most of the chart they have a similar movement, and even we can expect the XRP be one of them. That means they follow the Bitcoin, and that's why if we want to look for trade, the best opportunity, if we look at the entire market, if the price retest the previous low, which is the 50 or 51 cent. And if I move to 1 hour chart, for me, even if the price broke the 59 cent, as long as the price haven't retested the previous low, which is 50 cent, I will consider this one as a correction relative to this. That means if you get any trade setup for buy based on lower time frame, I will take the trade. That means we can look for buy for price for, I mean, if you get any opportunity for buy, we can look for this one. Okay, and what I want to say is that we don't need to wait for the price to retest the previous low. And even based on forward chart, if we put this low in relative to any of them, the previous one, if we refer to the indicators, we see we have a divergence. Okay, and for the XRP, if I see any trade setup based on lower time frame, I mean a 1 hour chart, I will take the trade. If it's moving in our direction, we keep the trade. If not, we just stick with the trade, because based on forward chart, we don't see any trade setup yet. And if I move to 1 hour chart, any reversal as a sharp move flag, we will take the trade. But right now, what if the price start to consolidate here, give us a flag in relative to this? That's mean we can expect the price to give us one more drop. Whether we should look for sell or not, it depends on the traders. But for me, I'm not looking for the sell. If I get any trade setup for buy, this is what I'm looking for. All right. But from what we can see here, there is right now there is no trade setup for buy, and we should know that this down move is still we can see the extension. That means still we can see the continuation. That's why if we refer to my last analysis, I mentioned simply we cannot look for buy. If we want to look for buy, any trade we consider as a short term, and the only way we can look for trade, if we see any reversal as a short move flag, we will take the trade. Okay, and we need to see the continuation as a sharp move. If we get the trade and we see it's not moving in our direction, we are not going to keep the trade more than 2 to 4 hours. This is what I mentioned, because as we can see, the way the price is moving is still we are within down move, and the way it's moving is very corrective. By the way, again, if I move to daily chart, the possibility of the price to retest the previous low, which is the 50 cent, is very high. And for sure, if we wants to look for buy as a long term, the best thing is we wait for price to drop at least 50 or 51 cent, because from there we see if there's a breakout, we can expect the price to drop to 40. If not, we can look for buy, and the next buy can be at least to retest the previous top, which is the around 73 or 74 cent. If we move to forward chart, because we have this line already, 74 cent, because as long as the price haven't retested the previous low, we can look for this one as a flat. That's why I mentioned for the XRP, if you get any trade setup for buy based on 1 hour chart, we will take the trade. This is what we're looking for. But if I move to 1 hour chart right now, I don't see any trade setup. And mostly we can expect the price to give us another flag here for one more continuation for price to drop. And again, if you want to look for trade, at least we need to see the sharp move flag or similar, at least similar to what we get here. All right. Anyway, we don't have really good trade setup. We just follow the chart. And the best things again for the long-term trade, if anyone wants to simply buy the and they don't want to see wait for the trade setup. They don't want to look for the short-term trade. The best things is we wait for the price to retest the previous low, which is somewhere around 51 or 50 cent. If there is no breakout from there, they can look for buy. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any trade setup for long term or even for the short term, I will highlight. But right now, from what I can see here, and if the price give us a, the correct give us a correction under, the price consolidate here for under 2 to 3 hours as a flag, we can expect for the price to give us some more drop. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.